What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be checking out how you can transform the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Megatron into his OG G1 blaster mode, which actually looks kind of cool and is super straightforward, so let's get cracking. For the first step, you are going to want to take a hold of Megatron's head and spin it all the way around until the back is now facing the front. For the second step, you are going to want to take a hold of the shoulders, spin these here outwards and around. Now for this, you are going to want to specifically make sure that these three fingers are opened and are compressed as close as possible to the base of the wrist joint. We can then pop open this panel here and hopefully the fist should slide in there with absolute ease. We can then snap that panel there back up, rotate here at the shoulder joint, and specifically make sure that you are then rotating at the forearm swivel. So bring this towards yourself, and then for the next step, take a hold of the bicep joint and also rotate this forwards so that those metallic silver pieces are facing forwards. Then what you'll do is rotate here at the shoulder all the way around, and you can for now, if you want, lift this here all the way up. You're basically going to repeat the exact same process on the opposite side, so bang! The only difference this time round would be the fusion cannon. So you are going to take a hold of those double hinge joints and basically extend those there all the way forwards like that. And again, if you want to, you can also lift this shoulder joint here upwards. But then for the next step, you are going to take a hold of the backpack and the arms and basically extend those away from the main chest unit. This should then allow for enough clearance for us to take a hold of the chest and basically swivel this here all the way around so that we can then take a hold of these pieces, hinge them out to the sides, and grab a hold of what was basically the original jet mode cockpit. So completely extend this here outwards, utilizing those double hinge joints. And what's pretty cool about this is that Megatron's robot head is actually going to store inside this cavity. So compress that there inwards and then take these two outer panels and compress these as close as possible to that bucket head. Then what you're going to do is take the entire chest unit and bring it down. So at the moment it is sitting at this angle. And for this next step, we are basically going to start tidying a few things up. So take a hold of these hinge joints, begin compressing them, and we are really and truly just going to reset the backpack into its original robot mode position. So snap that there into place. Now we turn to the fun part and begin forming the entire front part of the blaster. So for this, you are going to want to pop this panel here out to the sides just slightly. That will then allow us to combine it with the opposite arm. You'll then want to straighten this here out as much as possible, and for the sake of symmetry, you will then take a hold of the barrel of the fusion cannon, rotate this so that this tab is now facing upwards. Checking Megatron out from the side, you will then want to rotate at the waist so the skirt armor again is facing towards you. We can then start to take the outer skirt armor and begin extending these hinge joints here out to the sides. That should then allow us to take a hold of this leg, bring it down on the hip joint, and then begin rotating at the thigh joint. So extend this here all of the way down. And then for the next step, you are going to take the opposite leg, hinge this here upwards, rotate at the thigh joint, and then begin bending at the knee all of the way down and compress the base of the foot as close as possible to the back of the second leg. And bang! Here we have Megatron fully transformed into his secret OG G1 blaster mode, and I think this looks nuts, so much better looking than some of his original modes, and the way some of these pieces stack up, honestly, it would lead me to believe that perhaps originally this concept art Megatron was always supposed to throw it back to his original G1 self. Check out how the outer skirt armor actually transforms into a proper working trigger which is fully articulated. The way the legs stack up creates for a wicked handle, meaning that you can actually use Megatron like a traditional G1 blaster, which I think is sick. Die, Autobots! Pew, pew, pew! The only time the illusion is slightly lost, unfortunately, would be if you were to check it out here from the top. That doesn't look too great, but in its defense, even as we check it out here from the front, I think that is looking banging, and because this is a concept art Megatron, who's to say that this alt mode isn't what he would have transformed into, and you can make it look even better if you also happen to have the fusion cannon from the Transformers Siege Megatron. Again, the only time where the illusion is slightly lost would be if you were to check it out from the front, because unfortunately the back tabs are off center, so it does sit either to the left or to the right. But from this angle, I think it looks terrific. So definitely a fantastic kind of made up fan configuration. Is this something that you guys will be transforming him into? And like myself, do you agree that this looks even better than the tank or the jet mode? Sound off down below, and until my next video, transform and roll out!